repurpose that facility and send the people inside it home.
What is happening with people? Councillor Páirtí, myself and a couple of National Party members popped down to Citywest this evening just to highlight the issue of what actually went on here and the grievance that we have with this facility even existing in the first place. I mean, the state bought it for millions and millions of euro to turn it into a dedicated direct provision centre.
We're here to do a banner drop at the Citywest Hotel.
What is happening, good people? Councillor Páirtí, myself and a couple of National Party colleagues decided to pop up to Citywest here this evening because, you know, we feel like it's such a horrific incident took place here. It was just a flash in the pan in the news cycle. So we said we'd come down, redraw attention to the atrocity that took place here in Citywest and, you know, highlight the delayed justice that 10-year-old and her family is receiving at the hands of the state. And behind me here is Citywest Hotel. For people who don't know, the state bought it for millions of euro with the sole purpose of having it as a direct provision centre. The state's first run, wholly operated by the state, direct provision centre, wholly to just aim to import thousands of foreign nationals, process them in, you know, effective times, but then off to go into social housing. They're given a ballot card and then they're voting to keep these people in power on repeat all the time, as is continuing to happen.
What we've seen since that time is increased antisocial behaviour in the area. Allegations of young girls being raped and molested by, you know, people inside the facility, whilst in the care of Tussla as well at the same time. Like, that doesn't actually make any real sense. And now, you know, we kind of have this big Fox concern and fake outrage over X and people generating disgusting images using AI. That's a simple, you know, plug in a couple of lines of code and you can prevent people doing that. That's no issue at all. But at the same time, they have absolutely no real questions about how a child in Tussla care ended up in Citywest and was allegedly assaulted, raped by a African migrant. They don't have any real questions or concerns about that.
I think Steve has a few words. Steve, do you want to say on?
Yeah, Paddy, everybody that's listening, it's no secret that the Irish are known throughout the world for their generosity. Where the Irish taxpayer is so generous that it's after buying a whole 4-star hotel for migrants from all across the world to be warehoused in luxury. And then our government is struggling to build blocks of flats all around their communities, all around their towns and villages, right up and down the whole country. We're struggling to build houses for these people, and our own people can't afford to either buy a house. They're waiting upwards of 15 years on the housing waiting list, or languishing away in homeless hubs right across the whole country. It's down to supply and demand. The government keeps increasing their demand and it cannot keep up with the supply. There's too many people being brought into this country and they need to go home. This building behind me right here, it needs to cease being a direct provision centre and it needs to become a remigration centre.
Absolutely.
I'd urge people right across Ireland to go to your local Plantation centre and make a stand outside of it and urge the Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, to repurpose that facility and send the people inside it home. Save our nation, remigration.
We just felt it fitting to come down and say that, like, the National Party hasn't forgot about these things. We also haven't forgot about the Parnell Square stabbing that happened a good while back. And we have not forgot about that. Like, these are constantly on the forefront of our mind. Ashland Murphy, like, it's always on the forefront of our mind. It is the reason why we are politically active. One, because we do not want to become a minority in our own country, and two, because we don't know who's coming into the country and are ending up assaulting our own people. 50 kilometres across the water in another country called, you know, England, another country called England, Scotland and Wales. There was this thing called Pakistani grooming gangs where thousands upon thousands of young British girls were raped in a systematic way, and it's disgusting. And for people to be naive to believe that something like that isn't happening here or can't happen here, it's like, how did a child 10 years of age in Tuscalore end up at this facility and allegedly get raped by an African male? It just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And just to kind of round off the message as well, folks, what I will say to you as well is yes, it was only a small crew of us out here this evening, kept it very in-house and made the point very clear that we're not forgetting about what's going on here, we're not forgetting about what Dublin's doing. They can attempt to try and placate us by saying we've deported X amount of Georgians. That's good, that's a start. It's not even really a start, it's not even on the plate, so it's not what we want to see. Is we want to see thousands upon thousands upon thousands of deportations weekly of foreign nationals out of this country. That's what we want to see. We want to see a situation where the 25% foreign national population inside of this country is brought down to 3 or 2%. That's what we want to see. We want to be a super majority inside of our own country. And to really round it off then, what I would say is that we're out here walking, and it's good that people online support us, support the party, support the message, but we can't do the walking for you. So if you want to go the distance, you're going to have to get up and run. Are you going to do it with us?